The quiet of space was broken by the soft peeps of the control panel. Captain William Elias looked up from his data tablet. His eyes were tired after 12 hours on duty, but he couldn't sleep. Not yet. Something felt wrong. "Captain, we're picking up an object entering the solar system," said Lisa Morgan, the sensor officer. Her voice was steady, but her fingers moved quickly across her screen. "Show me," Elias said, standing up from his command chair on the bridge of the Earth Space Command vessel Defiant. The main screen lit up with an image of space. At first, Elias saw nothing unusual. Then a small dot appeared, moving faster than any human ship. "It's not one of ours," said John Rivera, the weapons officer. "And it's not from Mars Colony either." Elias felt his heart beat faster. After decades of searching the stars, humanity had found no signs of alien life. Until now. "Track it," he ordered, "and call the crew to their stations." The object slowed down as it approached Jupiter. It changed course smoothly, avoiding the gas giant's gravity well. Whatever it was, it moved with purpose. "It's heading straight for us, sir," Lisa said. Elias nodded. "Open a channel on all frequencies. Standard greeting package." The communications officer, Alan Foster, sent the message they had prepared years ago for this moment. A simple hello in 100 Earth languages, along with basic math equations to show intelligence. Minutes passed. The bridge crew waited in silence. "Sir," Alan said suddenly, "we're receiving a response." The alien object had stopped moving. It hung in space about 10,000 miles from the Defiant. Then it began to change shape. Parts of it opened like a flower, revealing the glowing core. "It's scanning us," Lisa said, her screen filled with data. "The energy readings are... I've never seen anything like this." A beam of light shot out from the object, touching the Defiant's hull. Elias felt his skin tingle. "No damage," John reported, "but our systems are being accessed." Before Elias could respond, the main screen changed. Strange symbols appeared, then shifted into English words. "They've learned our language," Alan whispered. In seconds. The message was simple. "Representatives of Earth, the Galactic Council acknowledges your species development. You are invited to present yourselves for evaluation. One representative may attend." Below the message were coordinates and instructions. "Sir," Lisa said, "this is an invitation. But the way it's worded, like we're being summoned," Elias finished, "not greeted as equals." The object, clearly a probe of some kind, sent another message. "The primitive species of Sol 3 has achieved minimal spaceflight capability. The Council will determine your status and resource value." Elias frowned. "Send all data back to Earth Command. We need to inform every government." 3 weeks later, after heated debates among world leaders, Elias stood in the office of the United Earth President in New Geneva. "The Council probe remains at the edge of our system," said President Grace Williams. "They've sent more messages, none of them friendly." "They see us as backward," Elias said, "but they want something from us, or from our planet." The President nodded. "That's why we've chosen you, Captain. Your background in diplomacy before joining Space Command makes you uniquely qualified." Elias looked at the folder on the desk. Inside were his new orders. "You'll take the Defiant to the coordinates," the President continued, "as humanity's representative to this Galactic Council. And if they mean us harm, then learn what you can. Find their weaknesses." The President's eyes were hard. "We've survived wars, plagues, and climate disasters. We'll survive this too." Elias took the folder. "When do I leave?" "Tomorrow. The alien probe will escort you." The President stood and extended her hand. "The future of our species may depend on what you say to these beings, Captain Elias." As he shook her hand, Elias felt the weight of 7 billion lives on his shoulders. Humanity's first step into a much larger universe would be his to take. The alien ship was like nothing Elias had ever seen. It seemed to bend light around its hull, making it hard to focus on its true shape. As the Defiant approached, A docking bay opened silently, inviting them in. Keep communication channels open with Earth at all times, Elias told his crew. If anything happens to me, your orders are to return home immediately. Lisa Morgan nodded, her face tight with worry. Good luck, Captain. Elias took a deep breath and entered the airlock. The alien atmosphere smelled like cinnamon and metal. Standing before him was the first non-human intelligent being any person from Earth had ever met. She, at least Elias thought it was female, stood 7 feet tall with blue-gray skin that shimmered like water. 4 arms moved gracefully as she bowed. I am Zevnar, diplomatic liaison for the Arcturian Collective, she said in perfect English. I will escort you to the council. Elias returned the bow. Captain William Elias of Earth, thank you for your guidance. Zevnar led him through corridors that seemed to shift and change. The ship was alive in ways Earth technology couldn't match. Your vessel uses combustion propulsion, Zevnar said. It wasn't a question. Quite primitive. Most species develop gravity manipulation before venturing beyond their home systems. We work with what we have, Elias replied evenly. Zevnar showed him to a small room. These will be your quarters for the journey to Centauri Prime. The trip will take 5 days by our methods. 5 days. Elias was shocked. That's over 4 light years. Zevnar's mouthparts moved in what might have been a smile. As I said, primitive. Over the next 5 days, Elias learned much about the Galactic Council. 7 major species controlled thousands of star systems. The Vexari, who looked like tall insects, were the oldest members. The Arcturians, like Zevnar, were newer but rising in influence. 5 other species made up the rest of the council. And Earth. Elias asked during a meal of strange but tasty foods, what does the council want with us? Zevnar's 4 hands arranged small blue fruits on her plate. Earth has been classified as a potential protectorate, meaning your species will be protected, guided, your resources shared for the greater good of the galaxy. Elias set down his cup. You mean we'd be a colony? A harsh word, Zevnar said, but not entirely inaccurate. Few new species qualify for full membership. The Council has existed for 50,000 years. Humans have barely left their planet. So why invite us at all? Your world is rich in certain elements, particularly your oceans and forests. Zevnar studied him. And there is something unusual about human minds. Your problem-solving is different. Elias spent his free time studying the data files Zevnar provided. He learned about council laws, customs, and history. He learned that protectorate species often lost control of their homeworlds within a generation. On the final day, as the ship approached Centauri Prime, Elias stood at a viewing window. The space station was enormous, a spinning wheel of metal and light larger than Earth's moon. Impressive, isn't it? Zevnar joined him. Home to representatives from over 3,000 worlds. How many of those are protectorates? Elias asked. Zevnar was silent for a moment. Most of them. And how many protectorates have ever become full council members? Another pause. None, so far. Elias nodded slowly, watching the massive station grow larger. I see. Captain Elias, Zevnar said, her voice gentler than before. The council has already decided Earth's status. Your presentation is a formality. Then why bring me at all? Protocol requires a representative to accept protectorate status. She hesitated. I should not say this, but prepare yourself. The council can be unkind to new species. As they docked at Centauri Prime, Elias straightened his uniform. If the council thought humans would quietly accept becoming a colony, they had much to learn about Earth. Centauri Prime bustled with more alien life than Elias could process. Creatures of every shape moved through the vast docking area. Some floated on cushions of air, others crawled on many legs, and some seemed made of light itself. Stay close, Zevnar warned. Many here have never seen a human before. They passed through a security checkpoint, where tall machines scanned Elias from head to toe. The guards, massive reptilian beings with 4 eyes, stared at him with open curiosity. "A new species?" one asked Zevnar. "From Sol 3, here for evaluation." The guard made a sound like stones grinding together. "Fragile-looking. Primitive weapons, too." He pointed at Elias's ceremonial sidearm. "It's non-functional," Elias explained. "Part of my formal uniform." The guard seemed disappointed and waved them through. Zevnar led Elias to a transport tube that shot them across the station. Through the clear walls, Elias saw the true scale of Centauri Prime. Whole cities spread across its curved interior. Ships of impossible designs docked at its outer ring. "Your quarters," Zevnar said when they arrived at a small door. The room inside was barely larger than a closet. "The council session begins tomorrow. You will have 10 minutes to present Earth's case." 10 minutes to decide the fate of my entire species?" Elias asked. "Most get 5. With that, she left. Elias set down his small bag and examined the room. The bed was too short, the air too dry. A screen on the wall showed information in alien script that shifted to English as he watched. His presentation was scheduled after 15 other species. Unable to rest, Elias decided to explore. The corridors outside his quarters housed representatives from dozens of worlds. Some nodded as he passed. Others turned away, as if his presence offended them. In an open area resembling a garden, Elias paused to study a pool of glowing liquid where small creatures darted back and forth. He was so focused that he didn't notice someone approach. First time on Centauri Prime. Elias turned to see a human man with dark skin and gray hair. He wore simple clothes with an alien symbol on the chest. "You're from Earth," Elias said, surprised. The man smiled sadly. "Once. The name's Daniel Okafor. I was on a deep space mission 12 years ago when the Vexeri found me." "Found you? You mean abducted you?" Daniel shrugged. "They were curious, wanted to study humans. Now I work for Council member Trazkor. They sat on a bench made of some living material that shifted to fit their bodies." "The Council already knows about Earth," Daniel said quietly. "They've been watching us for centuries. Why reveal themselves now?" "Resources. Earth has things they want. Water, certain metals, biological diversity." Daniel leaned closer. "But mostly, they're afraid of you." "Me? Humans. How fast we learn. How we adapt." Daniel tapped his head. "Our minds work differently. We make connections their logic doesn't follow." Elias thought about this. "You said you work for a council member. Can you tell me about them? What should I expect tomorrow?" Daniel's eyes darted around before he answered. "The Vexeri head the council. They look like mantises, 8 feet tall. Then the Arcturians, like your escort. The Koltak are gaseous beings in containment suits. The Drovani are reptilian. The Ikes have no solid form. The Peluri are aquatic, and the Zenthar are silicon-based. And the Protectorates." Daniel's voice hardened. "Slaves in all but name. Their world stripped of resources. Their people relocated when convenient. How do I stop that happening to Earth?" "You probably can't." But Daniel slipped Elias a small device. "This has information they don't want you to know. Council session recordings, resource allocation data, evidence of their exploitation." "Why help me?" Daniel stood. "Because I still remember being human. I still remember freedom." He pointed to the alien symbol on his chest. "This marks me as property. I don't want Earth wearing it too." As Daniel walked away, Elias held the small device tightly. Tomorrow would determine the future of humanity. He had to be ready. Elias barely slept. He spent the night reviewing the information Daniel had given him. The data showed how the Council stripped resources from protectorate worlds, sometimes relocating entire populations when convenient. It showed how species that resisted were made examples of. Others that submitted were slowly diminished, their cultures fading as they served their council masters. Morning came too quickly. Zevnar arrived to escort him to the council chambers. "You look tired," she noted. "Did you not find your quarters adequate?" "They were fine," Elias lied. "Just nervous about today." The council chamber was enormous. A circular room with 7 massive thrones arranged on a high platform. Below them was a speaking area where representatives would make their cases. Hundreds of smaller seats surrounded the space, filled with observers from across the galaxy. Elias waited as other species presented their cases. A group of small, furry beings requested aid after a natural disaster. Denied. A tall, crystalline creature asked for trade route access. Granted with heavy taxation. A gaseous being in a containment suit petitioned for colonization rights to an uninhabited world. Granted with council oversight. Each decision took mere minutes. The council members barely seemed to listen. Finally, it was Earth's turn. "Representative of Sol 3, approach," announced a booming voice. Elias walked to the center of the chamber. Looking up, he saw the 7 council members for the first time. The Vexeri Supreme was indeed like a giant mantis, with multiple limbs and compound eyes that reflected the chamber lights. Next to him sat Zevnar's superior, an older Arcturian with silver skin. The others were just as Daniel had described. The gaseous Koltak, the reptilian Drovani, the formless Eeks, the aquatic Peluri in their water tanks, and the crystalline Centaur. "You may present your case," said the Vexeri Supreme. His voice was like dry leaves scraping together. Elias activated the presentation he had prepared. Images of Earth appeared in the air above him, its oceans, mountains, cities, and people. "Earth is home to over 7 billion humans." Elias began. "Our civilization is young compared to yours, but we have made great progress. We've cured diseases, explored our solar system, and developed art and culture that celebrate life in all its forms." He showed Earth's achievements, spacecraft, medical breakthroughs, engineering marvels. "We come before the Council seeking friendship and knowledge exchange. Earth wishes to join the galactic community as a sovereign world, with the right to determine our own future." The Koltak member shifted in his containment suit. "Your species still fights wars among itself. You have nearly destroyed your environment multiple times. Your technology is primitive." "We're still learning," Elias admitted, "but we're quick learners." The Drovani representative leaned forward. "Your world has resources valuable to the Council. Rare metals, biological diversity, water. These could benefit many species. We're willing to trade fairly," Elias replied, "but not to surrender control of our planet." The Vexeri Supreme made a sound like breaking twigs. It took Elias a moment to realize it was laughter. Then all 7 council members were laughing. "Trade," the Vexeri said. "As equals. Your species is barely more than clever animals. You've existed for a blink of time. Your greatest achievements would be children's toys to us." The Arcturian elder spoke next. "The standard arrangement for species at your development level is protectorate status. We will protect you from yourselves, guide your development, and ensure your resources benefit the galaxy." "You mean you'll take what you want and leave us the scraps," Elias said, his voice steady despite his anger. This caused more laughter among the council. "The human shows spirit," said the Peluri, bubbles rising in her water tank. "Perhaps they will make good servants." The Vexeri Supreme raised a clawed limb for silence. "We will now vote on Sol 3's petition for sovereign status." One by one, the council members pressed buttons on their thrones. 7 red lights appeared above Elias. "Petition denied," announced the Vexari. "Earth will be classified as a Class 3 protectorate, effective immediately." The chamber fell silent. Elias stood alone before the council, their decision hanging in the air between them. He thought of Earth, of its blue oceans and green forests, of its people going about their lives unaware that their future had just been decided by aliens who saw them as little more than resources to be harvested. Protocol requires your acceptance of protectorate status, the Vexeri Supreme said. Then we will send representatives to begin the transition. Elias took a deep breath. Before I respond, I would like to invoke the right of final address. A murmur ran through the crowd of observers. The council members exchanged glances. That is an ancient protocol, said the Zenthar, its crystalline body glinting. Not used in centuries. But it exists, Elias pressed. Daniel Okafor told me about it. Any species facing classification has the right to make one final statement before the decision is formalized. The Cultax containment suit hissed as it spoke. The human is correct. The right of final address is still valid under council law. The Vexeri Supreme's compound eyes fixed on Elias. Very well. You may make your final address. It will change nothing. Elias moved to the central podium. The chamber's acoustics carried his voice to every corner without the need for amplification. I could tell you about humanity's achievements, Elias began. Our music, our art, our science. But you've made it clear you don't consider those impressive. He paused, looking at each council member in turn. Instead, I'll tell you about our failures, about how humans have nearly destroyed themselves many times. We've had world wars that killed millions. We've damaged our environment to the point where entire species vanished. We've created weapons that could wipe out all life on our planet. The council members looked confused by this approach. You see our conflicts as proof of our primitive nature, Elias continued. But there's something you're missing. Every time we've faced extinction, we've found a way forward. Every time we've created a problem, we've eventually solved it. Elias activated the device Daniel had given him. Data streamed into the chamber's display system. Graphs and charts appeared, comparing technological development rates across species. This data comes from your own archives. It shows that council species have barely advanced in the last 500 years. Your technology has plateaued. Your societies have stagnated. The Arcturian elder stood up, furious. This is outrageous. Is it? Elias asked calmly. When was the last time the Arcturians developed a new form of energy? When did the Vexeri last make a breakthrough in medicine? Your species have grown comfortable. You take resources from protectorates rather than solving your own problems. The chamber was no longer silent. Voices rose in anger and shock. In contrast, Elias pressed on. Humans have gone from horse-drawn carriages to space travel in less than 200 years. We've mapped our genome, cured diseases that once killed millions, and developed artificial intelligence. We keep pushing forward, driven by something you seem to have lost, curiosity and the will to improve. Elias showed another piece of data. Here's a mathematical problem your scientists declared unsolvable 300 years ago. A human mathematician solved it last year. The Pelleri's water tank bubbled furiously. This proves nothing. It proves everything, Elias countered. You need us more than we need you. Human creativity and problem-solving could help solve challenges the Council has struggled with for centuries. The Vexeri Supreme slammed a limb down on his throne. Enough. This display of arrogance is not arrogance, Elias interrupted. It's truth. And there's more. He showed new data streams, records of transmissions between Council species discussing Earth. These records show you've been competing to exploit Earth, not to help us develop as you claim is your mission, but to strip our world of resources. You've broken your own laws regarding emerging civilizations. The Drovani representative hissed. Where did you get these records? Elias smiled slightly. It seems humans aren't the only ones who believe in freedom. The chamber erupted in chaos. Council members shouted accusations at each other. Observers whispered and pointed. The Vexeri Supreme pounded his throne repeatedly, demanding order. When the noise finally died down, Elias continued. I'm not here to cause conflict. I'm here to propose a different path forward. His voice was calm and clear. Humans don't want to be your enemies. We don't even need to be your equals yet, but we will not be your slaves. The Arcturian elder leaned forward. What exactly are you proposing, human? A partnership, Elias said. Not a protectorate arrangement. Earth maintains its independence, but we agree to work with the Council on specific projects where human thinking might help. Ridiculous, scoffed the Xanthar. What could your primitive species offer us? Elias smiled. Let me show you. He activated another file from Daniel's device. Three-dimensional models appeared, showing engineering solutions to problems the Council had been struggling with for decades. These are human solutions to Council problems, Elias explained. This first one is a redesign of your faster-than-light drives that would increase efficiency by 30%. The second is a new approach to the atmosphere problems on Drovani colony worlds. The third shows how to stabilize the genetic degradation affecting the Peluri. The Council members stared at the displays with shock and disbelief. Impossible, whispered the Peluri representative, bubbles rising rapidly in her tank. Our scientists have worked on these issues for generations. That's exactly my point, Elias said. You've been thinking about these problems the same way for too long. Humans approach problems differently. We make unexpected connections. Our minds work in ways yours don't. He looked at each Council member in turn. This is just the beginning of what we could offer if we work together as partners rather than master and slave. The Coltax containment suit vibrated as it spoke. These solutions appear viable, but unproven. Then let us prove them, Elias challenged. Give Earth 5 years. During that time, we remain independent but work with Council scientists on these projects and others. If we fail to deliver results, you can reconsider our status then. The 7 Council members conferred among themselves, their voices too low for Elias to hear. The chamber fell silent as everyone waited. Finally, the Vexari Supreme spoke. This proposal is unprecedented. So is humanity, Elias replied. You understand that if we accept this arrangement and you fail to deliver, Earth's status will be permanently decided as a protectorate. Elias nodded. I'm willing to take that risk. More discussion among the Council. Finally, the Arcturian elder stood. The Council has reached a decision. We will grant Earth a 5-year probationary period. During this time, you will work with our scientists on the projects you have proposed. If successful, we will reconsider Earth's status. If you fail, we won't, Elias said firmly. The Vexari Supreme's compound eyes studied Elias. You have shown remarkable boldness, human, but do not mistake this arrangement for acceptance. Many Council members still believe your species is too dangerous, too unpredictable to be allowed free rein in the galaxy. Perhaps that unpredictability is exactly what the galaxy needs, Elias suggested. As the formal session ended, Elias noticed Daniel O'Cuffer standing near a side entrance. The older man gave him a slight nod of approval before disappearing into the crowd. Zevanar approached as Elias left the podium. That was unexpected, she said. No species has ever challenged the Council so directly and succeeded. There's a first time for everything, Elias replied. The Vexari Supreme will not forget this, Zevnar warned. He is not accustomed to being opposed. He will try to ensure Earth fails during the probationary period. Elias smiled. Then it's a good thing humans perform best when the odds are against us. Elias stood at a large window, watching ships come and go from Centauri Prime. The Council session had ended 2 hours ago. Now he waited to learn what would happen next. Footsteps approached behind him. He turned to see Zevnar with another Arcturian, the elder from the Council. Captain Elias, this is Council member Sylvan, Zevnar said. Elias bowed respectfully. Council member. Sylvan studied Elias with 6 eyes that shimmered like liquid silver. You have created quite a problem for us, human. I prefer to think of it as an opportunity, Elias replied. The Vexari Supreme is furious, Sylvan continued. In 10,000 years, no one has challenged him so publicly. Perhaps it was overdue. Sylvan made a sound that might have been a laugh. Perhaps. I have come to discuss the terms of your probation. They walked to a private meeting room where a holographic display showed the details of the agreement. Earth would remain independent. A small team of council scientists would visit to work with human experts on the projects Elias had proposed. After 5 years, Earth's status would be reconsidered. There are other conditions, Sylvan said. Earth must limit its expansion to your home system until the probation ends, and you must share certain technologies with us. We're happy to share, Elias said, as long as it's an equal exchange. Sylvan's skin rippled with what might have been surprise. You continue to negotiate as if we were equals. If we're going to work together, we need to start seeing each other that way. The Arcturian was silent for a moment. The Vexari believe you are dangerous. They wanted to vote for immediate resource extraction rather than protectorate status. And what do you believe? Elias asked. I believe the council has grown. Comfortable. Perhaps too comfortable. Sylvan touched the display, spinning it slowly. I am old enough to remember when my own species joined the council. We were considered primitive then. Now we sit in judgment of others. Elias nodded. History tends to repeat itself. Indeed. Sylvan deactivated the display. I will support your proposal publicly. Some other council members may join me. The Drovani and Koltak were impressed by your solutions to their problems. And the others? The Vexari will work against you. The Peluri follow them in most matters. The Zenthar and Yx remain undecided. 4 against 3 isn't bad odds, Elias said. The Vexari Supreme holds more influence than any 3 council members combined, Zevnar warned. Sylvan moved toward the door. You will return to Earth tomorrow to prepare for the arrival of our scientists. Zevnar will remain as liaison. After the council member left, Elias turned to Zevnar. Why are you helping me? I witnessed something unusual today, she replied. For the first time in centuries, the council was forced to actually consider a new idea. It was refreshing. A soft chime sounded. The door opened to reveal Daniel Okafor. I heard the news, Daniel said. You actually did it. With your help, Elias reminded him. Daniel's face grew serious. The Vexari Supreme has already sent messages to his fleet. He's positioning ships near your solar system. A precaution, I'm sure, Zevnar said, but she sounded uncertain. Or preparation for when Earth fails, Daniel suggested. We won't fail, Elias said firmly. Daniel nodded. There's something else. After the session, several representatives from other protectorate worlds contacted me. They want to know more about Earth. Why? Because no one has ever stood up to the Council, and won, even temporarily. You've given them hope. Elias thought about this. What had started as a mission to represent Earth had become something larger, perhaps the beginning of change for the entire galaxy. The journey home won't be easy, Zevnar warned. Several scientists wish to accompany you to begin learning about human methods immediately. The sooner the better, Elias replied. We have a lot of work to do in 5 years. The journey back to Earth took 5 days. This time, Elias wasn't alone. 6 alien scientists had joined him, eager to learn more about human problem-solving methods. Among them was a young Arcturian named Kivrin who asked endless questions about Earth. You really have over 10,000 different languages, she asked as their ship approached the edge of Earth's solar system. We do, Elias confirmed, though many are endangered. But why maintain such inefficiency? Kivrin wondered. The Council standardized language centuries ago. Because each language offers a different way of seeing the world, Elias explained. Different perspectives lead to different solutions. The alien scientists exchanged glances. This concept seemed strange to them. As they neared Earth, they received a transmission from United Earth President Williams. Welcome home, Captain Elias, she said, her image appearing on the main screen. I see you've brought guests. Council scientists, Elias explained. They're here to begin our collaboration. The President nodded. Earth is ready. While you were gone, we prepared research teams from every nation. Everyone is eager to prove what humanity can do. When they landed in Geneva, a crowd had gathered. People cheered as Elias and the alien scientists emerged from the ship. Children pointed excitedly at the visitors from other worlds. "They're not afraid," noted Zevanar, watching the crowd. "Most species fear what they don't understand. Humans are curious by nature," Elias said. "It's our greatest strength." The next few days were a blur of meetings and introductions. The alien scientists were paired with human research teams. To everyone's surprise, they worked well together despite their differences. The aliens brought knowledge of advanced physics and materials. The humans brought fresh approaches to old problems. One evening, Elias found himself alone on the balcony of the United Earth headquarters, looking at the stars. Zevnar joined him. "You're thinking about the Vexeri," she said. Elias nodded. "According to our deep space monitoring, they've positioned warships at the edge of our system. The Vexeri Supreme is not used to losing," Zevnar said. "He will try to ensure Earth fails its probation." I expected nothing less. Elias turned to face her. "But something else is happening that I didn't expect. Daniel sent a message today. News of Earth's deal with the Council has spread throughout the Protectorate worlds. Some are beginning to question their own arrangements." Zevnar's skin shimmered with concern. "The Council has maintained the status quo for millennia. Change will not come easily." "Change never does," Elias agreed. "But it always comes eventually." They were interrupted by Kivrin, who approached with excitement. "Captain Elias, the human team has already improved our FTL drive design by another 15%. It's remarkable." Elias smiled. "Just the beginning, I hope." Later that night, Elias sat alone in his office, writing his report for Earth's leaders. He described the challenges ahead: the skeptical council, the hostile Vexari, the 5-year deadline. But he also wrote about hope, about how humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to face impossible odds and find a way forward, about how the arrival of the Council in Earth's skies wasn't an ending but a beginning. As he finished his report, Elias looked out the window at the Earth below. Somewhere out there, billions of people were going about their lives, unaware of how close they had come to becoming servants of the Council, unaware that their future was still hanging in the balance. 5 years to prove humanity's worth to the galaxy. 5 years to change the minds of beings who had ruled the stars for millennia. 5 years to secure Earth's freedom and perhaps change the fate of countless other worlds. It would be the greatest challenge humans had ever faced. Elias smiled. They were ready.